Freelance recruitment. Why do you want to hire a freelancer? Hiring process, talent, and cooperation.
Welcome to your Freelance Friends podcast. In this next series of our podcast, we're going to spin things a little bit and look at things more from the client side. We'll still be giving you tips and tricks, only now on how to hire and work with freelancers as experienced freelancers ourselves, and also as people who hire online. We're still here to guide you and to share our experiences so that you can avoid any mistakes when hiring online. Our goal, as always, is to give you information that you can use to successfully hire online and get the most value no matter what your niche or experience level is.
Yay! Second season. It's quite exciting. I think that right now, as we are focusing on providing information to clients, it's also kind of like interesting for us. It's taking this another side, and we really hope that it will be beneficial for you. And I think it's still beneficial for freelancers also to just better understand the second side, right? So yeah, today we are going to talk about hiring process. So about like benefits of hiring process, about benefits of hiring the international talent, big talent, and a lot of freelancers from different different parts of the world and different expertise, and also about cooperation. So we'll focus mainly on benefits. We were thinking about providing some benefits and some like drawbacks of hiring online, but actually we realized that there are so many benefits that we will not cover both sides in one episode. So we are talking about only benefits today. So let's just jump right in, Rita. What are the benefits of hiring process and hiring online?
Yeah, there's a ton of them, as you kind of ran through just briefly. But one that I'd really like to highlight that you just mentioned as well is you can hire from anywhere, meaning your pool is worldwide. You're not restricted to a single state or even a single country, and not not restricted to local candidates. Also, when you're hiring from different countries, these people are going to have different skills, different perspectives. It's an entirely different culture. So it's an entirely different point of view that you could be engaging with, which is a huge bonus, I personally think.
Great. Yeah, this is a big bonus also. What I also think is that when you're hiring online, you actually have flexibility. You didn't mention it, but it's also connected, is this flexibility of getting someone, well, very fast, getting someone who is maybe, you are right now, like right now I'm in Poland, and well, it's far after business hours, but I can still get someone from United States who is within business hours, and he can do, or she or he can do task within 1 hour, right? So it's so fast. It's just like you have this flexibility of hiring those different people in different time zones. It's great. Another thing is that another benefit of hiring is that you have this risk management. So basically you are hiring fast, and of course there's risk of hiring the wrong person. But the thing is that when you are hiring a freelancer, you get all those benefits and also risk management, because you are hiring someone without additional contracts, additional, I don't know, agreements, no benefits that you need to provide to him. You are just like paying for the job done. So you are managing your risk, because if the job is not well done, probably you don't need to pay, but you are also not having this whole burden of other things connected. So if you had a commitment, a contract with someone, you cannot just like fire someone. But when you are working with a freelancer, this is actually what you can do. Of course, it has some like benefits and like disadvantages and advantages, but risk management, it is advantage here also. Rita, maybe another thing that we should mention with hiring is cost savings. What do you say?
Yes, absolutely. And you did touch on that just now about, not having a contract and not having, sort of some constrictions with that, as well as not having benefits, right? So it's a huge cost saver because you're not paying a full-time salary. More often than not, my freelance gigs tend to be part-time. So going back to your flexibility kind of again there. Also, no benefits benefits package required, so no 401k, no health benefits, nothing like that. It is a huge cost saver. You can do it as needed as well. You don't even have to agree to a part-time basis. You could say, I'll call you when I need you, or I'll reach out to you when I need you. And if you're available, great. And if you're not, find someone else. There's a huge pool of freelancers, especially now with the pandemic. People are becoming more independent and working at home more. And the variety out there is huge. And it takes a lot off as a business owner to not have to go and staff full-time positions anymore necessarily.
Yeah. And it's like cost saving on part of like hiring and training and having someone in your office. You don't need to have someone in your office. It's remote. You don't need to provide any equipment. You don't need to provide working environment. And for example, for me, I remember like 1 year ago, I was working as a one person company, like I cannot have employees. Basically, I couldn't have employees at the time. But I still could work with freelancers, right? So it's just this amazing possibility of actually working with people, but not having them in your company. And you don't need to take care of the, like for example, social security payments, any like formal stuff. You just like hire, pay for the work done, and it's done on your
right.
I think that this cost saving, it's something that companies are starting to realize more and more. That's why we see even like huge companies like, I don't know, Microsoft or Amazon, or like companies that are really like big and well known, and they are also hiring freelancers because this is also cost saving for them, right? It's not that they cannot hire a pool of candidates who would really like love to work with them. It's just like easier and cheaper and faster, and a lot of benefits for them on the cost saving side. Anyway, let's move on to the talent topic. So we also touched a bit on that, but basically what we mean by talent is that all the benefits of hiring from the whole pool of people working in different languages with very different expertise, and like just having the access on your click to all those people working all over the world. I think that this is a huge benefit.
I couldn't agree with you more there. Having the worldwide expertise and the huge pool is, where else are you going to get that, honestly, if not in the freelance world? That's something that's definitely, I think, indicative to our world and not necessarily the regular corporate 9-to-5. Another really cool thing about freelancers is more often than not, they're very independent workers. Personally, I'll have an initial meeting with a client. We run through things. If I have questions, great. And then of course you always have a way to get in touch with them. But more often than not, I'm working by myself. And then when the work is done, I give a summary back to my client. And then at that point, we can kind of regroup. I don't necessarily need to be handheld or walk through things on a daily basis or trained and retrained. I think freelancers in general tend to be more independent thinkers and independent workers who don't need necessarily a lot of supervision and not a whole lot of follow-up on our end.
Yeah. And what I also realized when I'm working with freelancers, usually they just, if they are experienced, if they are working as a freelancer like 2, 3, 4 years, they just went through so many tasks already that they have just like broad knowledge about several small things that we need to have, like for example virtual assistants, right? So they are not hired for one thing, but they are hired on several projects. They know several different industries a bit, and it's just like it's just like so much quicker to explain them anything. Like they just get it. It's because if you have, I was working with people who, and maybe it's too much generalization, but what I mean is that I had experience working with people who would be on one position for a long time, and they have much more like depth of experience, right? And they have knowledge about one thing. With freelancers, usually they work on several projects simultaneously with several clients, with several industries. So maybe they don't have this deep expertise in one thing, but they have a lot of different experiences and expertises, right? Not expertise, experiences. So they can just like catch new tasks very fast, and also new systems which are like appearing every day, right? And they can they have this speed that usually at least me, when I'm hiring online, I need this speed, right? I need them to get things quickly, so I don't spend 1 hour on explaining something. and then during the next hour have it done. Like I explain 5 minutes and it should be done. And usually this is how it is with freelancers that I hire. So another thing that I think it's important to mention when we are talking about talents online is that actually freelancers care a lot about quality of work that they provide. It's like, I think the fact that we are being judged or our like recommendations, our reviews depend
rated really, I mean,
task. It's just like makes us really caring about each single thing that we do. This is what I feel. What do you say about that?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I have a higher level attention to detail because the things I'm doing directly affect me possibly getting rehired or hired by somebody else, because everybody I work with has the ability to give me a review on a public profile, right? So I want to make sure that every single task is done correctly. And if it's not, how can I fix it for you? Because it's so important as an independent to have a high rating in order to get the next job over the next person, because the competition is thick these days in the freelance world.
Yeah, totally. And like,
I think another thing,
sorry.
Go ahead.
No,
you're ahead. Fine. Go ahead. I think I cut you off.
Okay, so like I was just going to say that having both perspectives of like freelancer and client, I think that it's kind of not so good for a freelancer sometimes, because it makes us like sometimes nervous. Sometimes, you know, it's really like you really have to put 120% of yourself in each single task. However, on the other side, it's really good for clients. Like we care a lot about, it's not like we are working on something for 1 year and we have then evaluation of the whole thing, right? Or of our general performance. Like we are being evaluated each single thing, and our next project depend on our performance in this project. And that's why we really care as a freelancers, we really care about our job success rate. So like we try to keep it 100%, which means that we try to make our projects perfect, each single one project. And I think from client perspective, it's great. It's just something, you know, like I know that when I'm hiring a freelancer, I will get the job done. If I will not get the job done, I will not pay. Or if I will not get the job done, the freelancer will actually, you know, go far beyond what they need to do to make it work somehow. So I think this is a huge advantage for clients. Anyway, sorry, you are going to say something. I got excited about that one.
No, that's a super important point. You know, that's an interesting thing to point out. Actually, I think that you're not getting based on your whole year evaluation, right? You don't have a year to save you to like make up for like a mistake, right? It's based on individual tasks on individual jobs. So that's a very interesting point you brought up, and I'm glad that you did, because, you know, normally regular 9-to-5ers may not think about that. I think another topic, kind of shifting gears here, that we wanted to touch on while we're talking about quality of work and other things in place here, I think we should touch on the benefits of hiring with an agency, because you have an additional added layer of support instead of, you know, of course, you're working directly with the freelancer, but should something happen, you have a managerial staff, if you will, to go to, or if your needs expand, you can go to the managers of the agency and say, hey, I have this project also, do you have a fit there? So not only do you have added support, should anything go wrong or should anybody have any questions, but you also have an increased pool of candidates at your fingertips should anything change, which is awesome in my opinion, and something you don't normally get working in the freelance world one-on-one with a person.
Yeah. So like we are leading KAIROS agency, and this is something that it's close to our hearts, and we know why we start agency. But what we realized that our clients not usually someone who didn't work yet with an agency ask, okay, so why do I want to hire through agency? What is additional thing?
Right.
And once they start working with us, they are glad that they did, because
yeah,
usually we have like,
now I know.
Exactly. But we do have those clients who, for example, they start with one of our freelancers, and then they realize, okay, I need something else. Do you have someone? And they ask us, do you have someone? And for example, we have this one client who started working with us with one freelancer, and then the second, third, fourth, right now we have like 7 or 8 team members working with this client. So it's just something that we can offer, and you cannot get it if you are working not through agency, because we as an agency, we have this pool of people that we work with. And also, for example, I remember talking with one client that we had, and he was thinking, should I hire one person who knows a bit of everything, or should I hire 3 people who are experienced in this specific types of tasks? And we have possibility to offer both. And this is great. Like with agency, we know people that we work with, and we can just like offer a full solution to clients. So you as a client working with agency, you usually pay the same rates, but you are getting this additional support. And I think this is another benefit of like hiring online. It's just like you hire the whole company that just provides you with resources. So, well, there's a lot of benefits. I think that especially now in pandemic, we are realizing more and more what are the benefits of people working with us as a freelancers, as online. And also, I feel like a lot of people realize that actually working online and not being in a company, you are still productive. So they trust freelancers more. I don't know if it's a feeling, but I got this feeling. And like talking with clients, it's kind of like visible that they are people call us and say, oh, it's my first time with a freelancer, or it's my first time when I'm hiring online, but I actually realized that it's possible, and I actually realized that my employees are working from home and they are productive, so I'm gonna try with freelancer. So I think that the pandemic actually is showing us something.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that. I feel like people are more open to remote positions and freelancing positions now that we're in this stay-at-home stage, you know, for the past year. Whereas before, a lot of people weren't even open to it at all. So, oh, it doesn't work, but hadn't tried it before, right? So how can you say that if you haven't even done it before, right? So I do think it has opened up some possibilities. And then those maybe that are apprehensive about working with somebody one-on-one, they could go to something like an agency where they do have the added level of support. They don't have to prune through all these candidates by themselves, because we have this pool of experienced people with high ratings that we have worked with personally. So they've got the confidence on that. You know, different perspectives from different countries, you know, like we were talking about before. Our team is worldwide, so there's a lot of benefits to partnering with an agency or a freelancer, or, you know, remote in general.
Yeah. Well, we covered quite a lot. Like we had it planned, but we covered more than we had planned. So we covered today benefits of hiring online, like hiring process. Also, we covered some benefits of having this big pool of international talent, and benefits of hiring through agency, so cooperation with agencies. I think that we covered quite a lot. I hope that our clients, our future clients, and anyone who wants to hire online will benefit from this episode. And well, I think that's all for today.
Yeah, we will continue helping with our episodes and more towards clients in this next series. So stay tuned for more client perspective and feedback from your freelance friends.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.